Okay, hello and good evening, everyone. Thank you again for joining us this evening for a chat with a well-known guest here, Mr. Choon Kiat Lim, or in short, CK Lim, as we affectionately know him. And as our audience here probably already know, CK Lim is a well-known amateur astronomer and astronomy popularizer, okay, especially in Malaysia. Okay, he's the owner of Perseid, which is a provider of sales and services of astronomical equipment. He's a prominent member of the Astronomical Society of Penang, and helping Dr. Chong with a lot of outreach activities and also public events. CK Lim also has an observatory in Penang, which we'll talk about. Okay, and so you know, very popular guest today. So, to our listeners, if you have not subscribed to our Astronomical Society Penang channel, please press the subscribe button down there somewhere, okay, and hit the notification button so that whenever we have a new video, YouTube will let you know, okay. And if you are listening in live, okay, we'll have the privilege of posting questions, okay, for Mr. CK Lim. Okay, so if you have any questions for him, like is he still single? No, he's not. Okay, but okay. All right, not that kind of question, but like astronomy related questions and um, but okay, please post them below, and we'll have people looking at the site to kind of monitor what questions are there. Okay, so now without further ado, let's welcome our guest for this evening, Mr. CK Lim. Okay, CK, how are you doing this evening?
Good, good. Thank you for inviting me, Dr. Derek. Yeah.
Yes, it's our honor and our pleasure, of course. So yeah, I think that um, we are almost the same age. Well, you're older than me, so but just a few short years. And so I think that would like to know when did you start your astronomy interest? How did you get started? Back I think about the same time.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah, maybe a little bit of brief introduction. I think like many of us, I think we started. I think you and I are about the same age, probably
Yeah,
what
yeah.
5 years, 6 years different, right, or something like that. Yeah, I think something like that. I was born in '72, so it's a very some. I don't know. It must be a very beautiful day. One of the day in 1972. Then somebody picked me up from the trash bin. Then they say, yeah, you know. So yeah, when we started, when we in primary school, there was in like 80s, So um, if you want to learn something, there's no internet, right? We don't have internet. I think the primary source of information that we have would be from the library. So when I was small, I was very interested in astronomy. So I think probably started, because like for example in the form standard 6 science book, I think there's a whole chapter on the solar system. They have a beautiful photo of the planets, and well, the information is very interesting, but as you know, there was in the 80s, and the information probably came from like 60s, So it's like not updated. And if you go to the library, which I went to, um, the book there is like 1960s. You can get some astronomy book, not many, but there are some of them, and they are all like published in the 1960s. That was like before people even went to the moon. So what we are learning is something like it's very outdated, and things like that. So it's very difficult to find information on astronomy, especially. So I think most of us maybe same like myself. We like astronomy. We try to find more information on astronomy, but at a certain point, we'll probably just stop for a while, and wait for more information, and things like that. And I think my breakthrough actually came in 1990. I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was like I think it's 1990 when I was finishing my Form 5. I was playing badminton with my friend at I don't know whether there's a Bukit Dumba badminton court there. There's a badminton court in Bukit Dumba. There's a squash court, but there's a badminton court there. So, and that badminton court is next to a Wrexham. I can't remember what it stands for. Some regional for science and mathematics or something like that. It's a kind of education, And I heard there was an exhibition there, astronomy exhibition there. So I went there, and actually I saw for my first time telescope. Their telescope, their poster on astronomy. So I was very interested, and after asking around, I found out that they were actually organized by the USM Astronomy Club, and apparently they have a stargazing every Friday night. So one of the Friday I went there, and actually I met up with Dr. Chong. So I think that was a very, it's a turnaround thing for me. Okay, something that's turned around. So I met Dr. Chong there. So from there, I started to learn more on astronomy. Okay.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Yeah. So is that kind of you learn the astronomy stuff from Dr. Chong? See, or did you also have to pick up a lot of knowledge on your own or something?
No, actually, that was in 1990. So a lot of it from Dr. Chong. Mostly from Dr. Chong. Because I started to follow him to his talk, follow him to his, he has a lot of outreach, to the school. So in fact, we went everywhere. I went to school, primary school, secondary school. We went to any type of school. The Chinese school is a Malay school, is an Indian school. Even we went to churches, masjid, temple. Everywhere there's astronomy, we went. So I learned a lot from that. So of course, after that, we started to have this internet coming in. So I start to pick up from there. But all my everything starting from Dr. Chong. So he's the something that is a turning point for me.
Wow, that's very cool. So last month we interviewed Dr. Chong, and
Yeah.
it's actually very evident how much influence he had in astronomy in Penang. Right?
Yes.
So wow, that's pretty cool. So what happened after you joined Dr. Chong, and what you eventually built an observatory and set up?
Yeah, that was further down the road. Yeah, they were further down the road. If I met with Dr. Chong in 1990s, so from there actually I picked up some skill from him. For example, the telescope making thing, other than the outreach, and of course in 1995 actually I started working. So that is also a starting point. Another new new thing for me because I started to work. Then when I started to work, then you can start to get some money, then you can start to buy more books, you go to this, like, for example, that time you only have like Popular Bookstore, I think in Penang. The big bookstore, like Popular Bookstore, they're in Komta, like that. And I'll be going to Komta, I just stay quite near there. When I stay in town last time. So you go to Komta, you're gonna look at the book there. We probably didn't buy, we just go there every day, go there, take a look, a few pages, then the next day you go again, the few more pages.
Hey, did you flip the pages to Sky and Telescope and Astronomy, and then you
Oh yeah,
telescopes? Like, wow, you made a dream.
yeah. I mean,
I
like,
had that.
and the book is actually for me, it's like, wow, very interesting. Even the book on just a photo, the photo is like, the photo was taken from like maybe from the Voyager, there was no Hubble Space Telescope. Most of the nice photos are taken from Voyager, from Viking, depending on what planet, So, but they are very nice photo, and this photo is actually very fascinating, to me, So even without the facts or whatever, they just photo, it'll be very interesting. So you just keep look at the photo and keep a lookout for more books. And actually, only on the late 90s, we started to get those magazines like Sky Telescope and this Sky and Telescope and Astronomy magazine. Yeah, they are monthly publishing magazine. In Penang, there's only one dealer that's bring the book in. It's the Indian dealer. It's an Indian some like bookseller, and I think it's in King Street or something like that. It's a very small bookstore, manned by a mama, I think, and he sells book. So you just go there and like pay him the subscription. Every month So that's the source of information that you get. So that was like very 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 primitive kind of way.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that those days. Yeah.
Yeah.
What, 13 ringgit and 60 cents? I think like
Sorry?
13 ringgit and 60 cents, right?
I think
or something like that. I still remember the price. Then it went up to 17. Now it's
yeah.
like 20, 30 ringgit.
By the time I bought it, it was like below 20 ringgit.
Yep.
And after a year, it went up to 25 ringgit, I think. Then later it went up to like 32 ringgit. So it's like keep on going up, Yeah, but it's a good source of information, At that time we don't have any choice,
Right.
Yeah, there's another source of information. I don't know whether you are aware. There's actually a newspaper column in the Star. That's written by some Masale guy, Blazer or something like that. Is it Blazer? Or I can't remember his name. He always did like a Starry Night with a sunset like that.
I think I vaguely remember that.
Yeah, it's a Masale, right? It's a Masale name or something like that.
Yeah, I forget. Yeah, it's been a while. I forget. Yeah, but yeah, maybe, huh?
Yeah,
you didn't mention it. I cannot remember.
He's the one that's like monthly column that I always follow, And of course, you just say that, tonight, for this month, there's like Orion, things like that. But I was like so, so backward that time. I even couldn't find Orion there. I couldn't find this constellation, that constellation, because I simply don't know where to look. But this written there, you look up like.
So how did you start? Like, I mean, so Dr. Chong taught you, and then you tried to look on your own, right?
I tried to look on my own. I have a small binoculars. Then when I was able to get a hold of a couple of books, on astronomy, I tried to follow the star chart inside there. And slowly, I started to find out, this is Orion, then this is, this constellation and that constellation. So it's a very, very slow process. It's a very, very so that was like, I'm not sure. It took me like, I don't know, 5-10 years to just look at one constellation.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but you do like, you have to, that back in the day, we didn't have this cell phone, right?
No,
you're not gonna look at a cell phone and then with a gyroscope and you can tell where the stars are. No. You had that planisphere, and then you had and then the planisphere is not for latitude 0 degrees.
Correct. That's right.
It's like latitude 30 degrees.
Correct. That's why that is why when we when we look at, for example, when we just starting and we look at the planisphere. Then you look at the planisphere, and the planisphere itself is distorted. The stars are not perfectly aligned. You see a small portion, and like you said, they are meant for 30 degrees. So when we look up, you get more confused. Like we are like, are we looking at something? How come I cannot get this kind of constellation? How come I see it's different? And another thing that I made a mistake that the planisphere, you take it up and look, right. I was looking at the table there. It didn't say that
you held it upside down.
You cannot, held it upside down. Look, why the east is left hand side, right hand side. The east and the west, and all these things. So
Right.
it's like
Right.
you're trying to, the more you look, the more like you stupid, you feel more stupid, Then,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
once you get it, then you everything start to get, uh, matched up, and then you start to progress quite fast. So yeah, but to get it starting is very slow. It's very slow. So
Yeah. So okay. So pre your observatory and per se. So back then you also did some visual observing as well, or
uh,
film photography.
yeah, well, I don't actually have a camera, you know.
Um,
So it's not like we have a digital camera right now, phone also we have a camera. We don't have a camera, film is expensive, to process film is expensive. And to take a photo of the star, even if you can take the image of the stars, it doesn't mean that those people that process your film, they know how to process it. They have a lot of problem because they used to look at something bright. So when you take something very dark, when they look at the negative, they see that there's nothing inside there, then they throw the whole negative away. So yeah, that's the problem, So yeah, I didn't start imaging until like close to probably late 90s, I think. Late 90s. But that was also with the film camera.
mhm.
Yeah, but what I did was that, in 1995, actually, I started working. So that was a interesting time because once I start working, you get money, you have some money to spend. Then also when you start working, we actually have internet. Actually, the first time I used really internet, use this kind of mail thing is when we started working. Although we have a computer at home, but it's not powerful enough. Now we start working, they have this access to internet. They can do more things with the internet. So that is the progress become faster and faster. And actually, I was exposed more to astronomy in 1996 when I went to US. So
Hmm.
US is a total different thing. If you think that Malaysia is like, there's no astronomy activity in Malaysia, but if you go to, like, for example, in the US, everywhere you go is there'll be somebody who knows astronomy, or nearby where you stay, there will be a small telescope shop there as well. You know, and so it get more interesting. You can get to know more people. Get to know more of the equipment and things like that. So yeah, I started uh, moving up very fast since then. Uh,
Ah, okay. So you kind of like picked up more of your astronomy like when you were in the US.
yeah,
So I think you have some photos. Hold on. So let me share it. Where? Let's see. It's supposed to be here.
yeah.
I'm sharing the. Oh, I'm sharing the screen.
Okay,
It's the
let's see.
infinite
Yeah,
screen. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. There's a frozen
this one was
telescope. Is that kind of like your proof that you went to the US?
Yeah, this one was later. I mean, if you don't know what this is actually a telescope, and I think this one was taken quite, like, not to say recently, but this one was my, like, 2011 trip to US, the year
Oh.
2011. Yeah, this is the scope that I still have. It's an 8-inch f4 telescope. And on this particular morning or night, early morning, is actually there's a solar eclipse. I'm sorry. There's a lunar eclipse, total lunar eclipse, happening across the US. So there was like in 2011, and I took the scope up. I cannot remember, was it in December or something like that. So by the time I finished observe that, only I realized that the whole telescope is actually frozen.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's totally
Yeah.
frozen.
So
Yeah. So this is one of the challenges if you go to, somewhere uh overseas. Maybe I'll share about my overseas experience in a
yeah, yeah,
short
yeah.
while. What's the difference if you observe here?
Yeah, yeah, share. Actually, share it because I think that we do share this experience, right?
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, in fact, it's so strange that the first time I talked to you was when you were when I was in the States and you are in the States. So and now we're back in Malaysia and I'm talking to
Yes.
you. You know, so yeah, tell us about it. I think that tell everyone, about your experience in the U.S. Like,
US. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I actually went to US for those who don't know, actually I work for Intel. So that's where I get my name CK Lim from. You know, if you're working for this multinational company, if you don't have an English name, they'll be very hard to pronounce your name. You know, if my name will be like Lim Choon Kiat, then this masala will be like what? Choon Kiat? Choon what? You know, they'll be like difficult to pronounce. So for them to easily remember, we just give our initial. You know, so it'll be like CK Lim, you know, and this and that. So for them it's easy, you know. So they call CK. That'll be easy. So yeah, then in the America, yeah, I mean, if you observe in locally, I mean, those have not went overseas before. If you observe from Malaysia, one of the things that we cannot when we observe, we cannot see Polaris. A lot of people have been complaining locally, say, "Hey, we cannot see Polaris. If we cannot see Polaris, how do we know where's the north?" You know, and things like that. But when you go to US, here you can see Polaris anytime. You know, they'll be very high over. Not to say they're overheat, but depending on where you are in the US, you know, for example, you're in like last time you're in Arizona, it will be like 35 degrees. If you go up to Oregon, Washington, it'll be like 45 degrees. So you'll be halfway up in the sky, you know. And yeah, once you go there, you get pretty confused. If you used to watch the sky in Malaysia, if you go to the US, you get pretty confused. Why? Um, the Big Dipper is overhead. You know, the Big Dipper when we look from Malaysia is very low, but if you go overseas, um, the Big Dipper is always overhead. And you will never set. You will go round and round and round and round. You know, so um, it's very confusing. It's very confusing for us. So when you look at it, yeah, you go around there. Polaris is way up high, so that's very interesting. You know, but one of the bad thing, you know, if you go to the US, for example, US, okay, um, for us for us we don't care about the temperature. In the morning time is 30 degrees. At night is 30 degrees. Sometimes okay lah, 28 degrees. It will seldom go down to like 20 degrees, you know, 19 degrees and things like that. So we don't actually need warm clothing. But when I go to US, one of the very first meeting I did was observing without any special clothing. That means I just take a telescope, I go there and wait for the sun down. Then as soon as the sun down, actually the temperature change. You feel that the temperature suddenly the temperature dropped very fast, you know. So it was like 25 degrees during when the sun in the daytime, it can drop to 15 degrees or 10 degrees as the sun set, you know. So it will be very cold. So that's one of the things that you know, if you have never observed before, or any other place, the temperature is a big difference. There's a big difference there. You don't say that, oh, it's so warm. Yeah, the night will be warm also. No, it's like when the sun set, the temperature will drop a lot. And that's to our body. But to our telescope, um, you have to cool down the telescope. You know, yeah, it never happened in Malaysia. We don't have this problem. We can observe anytime. You can just bring the telescope in the car, go to somewhere else, take the telescope out and observe if you are in Malaysia. But if you are in other place, once you put your telescope in the car, actually the telescope is still very warm, although the car temperature inside. But once you come out to the outside, it's suddenly the temperature drop and you get all kind of turbulence in your telescope. That one you'll never experience in Malaysia. So when you go to US or whatever place, you take your telescope out, you cannot observe. You have to wait like maybe an hour or two I remember waiting at least 1 hour.
Yeah, depending on what type of telescope you
Yeah,
have.
correct. Yes, it depends. Yeah, but most of the time it take at least half an hour to 1 hour.
Yeah.
If not, you will not see a good image at all. So that is a very 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 problem. But somehow if you that's a photo of a um, I think that's a photo of the light pollution map. You saw that?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Hold on.
Yeah,
Let
I
me
just want
share.
to I just want to show the audience the light pollution from the one in US and the one in Malaysia, for example. Yeah,
Yeah, let's have a look at that.
I think it's probably down. Did I label it or
Light pollution map. You should have
did
there
I
it is, dark sky. Yeah.
dark sky? Yeah, something like that.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually,
Wow.
this is actually up to scale.
This is the place to be.
Yeah. It's like I mean, okay. On your if you see from your lower left, it's actually the Malaysia.
Ah, this
The
Malaysia. Yeah.
the
Oh
West
my
Malaysia and
gosh.
the East Malaysia, and this one is actually about the same scale as the map of the US.
Ah,
This is the map of the US, and actually I've only been to the West Coast. That's on the left hand side, the West Coast.
the U.S. West Coast, right?
Yeah, the right coast is where you have this big city like
Yeah.
Chicago, New York.
Chicago, New
You have
York,
this Miami, Florida,
Miami. That's good.
Atlanta, Georgia, Texas, and things like that. So they are
Yeah.
like, if you look at it, like, wow, pretty bright.
Yeah.
Pretty bright. The left is
Yeah.
pretty, is quite dark. You can see that on the left, the bright one will probably be LA, I think.
This L.A. Yeah,
And
that's
LA,
L.A.
then
San
on top is the San
Francisco.
Fran somewhere.
Yeah. This San Diego.
Yeah.
That's Phoenix. Yeah, that's
Sorry?
Phoenix right there. Phoenix.
I think that's Phoenix. Yeah, that's Phoenix
Yeah,
right there.
Phoenix,
That's the glow
Tucson,
dome
Las
there, right?
Vegas. Yeah.
Yeah,
I was here.
that's the Las
Right,
Vegas.
right
You are
about
right. You
there.
are right.
Yeah, it's
Okay. What,
very
what
good.
what actually I wanted to highlight is that although you can see there are some, red spot means there's a bad light pollution there. But if you compare to the map on Malaysia, Penang is bad. KL and Johor, Singapore is actually very bad, right? And the place that is
Yeah.
not do not have light pollution is actually the place that is inaccessible to us. They are the mountain range, the Gunung Tahan, the Titi Wangsa and things like that. So although it's dark, but it's not accessible. But on the US, it's different. For example, just now you're showing me the Las Vegas, right? You see the Las
Yeah,
Vegas?
yeah, Vegas, yeah.
Only the Las Vegas is bright. Actually, if you travel any direction, out of Las Vegas for maybe 20 miles, 25 miles, you
Yeah.
get to immediately you go
Yeah.
down to like bottle 5, bottle 4 sky.
Two, three, actually, I think
I
three.
think I go down to 2, right?
Yeah, 3, 2.
So
Yeah, and then go further. You just hit.
yeah, you just go up and they are not mountain. It is accessible by road.
Yes.
So it's a lot of difference between Malaysia and like places like in US because in US it's like you can see like pollution, but once you get out of the city, it's getting very dark. So in fact, I did a lot of observation, by going out of the city. Uh,
Yes.
I was in Portland, Oregon.
Yeah, that's Portland there, I think.
Yeah, yes, Portland is bad. Like 2011, 2011, I think 2010, 2011, 2012. I was in Portland. Whenever there's a clear sky, I will travel about 25 miles to the west, and I can get to a state park and also from there, and it's quite nice.
To the west or to the east?
To the west, to the west. I go to the west, near to the beach. Yeah,
To the beach, huh? To the
to the
beach. So
beach.
that dark blue area there.
It's not very dark. But it's to say not dark is also not to say not true. Also, it's pretty dark. I saw my first aurora there. My one
Oh, right.
only aurora there. You see, and
Yeah.
that place is like 45 degrees north. It's not near the Arctic Circle.
Yeah.
For the
Yeah.
aurora to be seen there is quite spectacular. I mean, it's like
KP9 or something.
Yeah, you know, something.
Seven and up.
Yeah.
Photon flux. No, proton flux. Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah. So I was
Seven.
very happy to see the aurora there.
Right.
I can see.
Wow.
Okay, I can see Triangulum Galaxy M33.
Oh,
Naked eye from there.
nice. Yeah.
That
That's a
is
good sight. Yeah.
there is a naked eye limit like 5 point something magnitude, right? But you can see it. You can see it.
Very nice. Yeah.
So it's interesting. I don't have to go very far. It's like 25 miles from my place. 25 miles on the open road is only 25 minutes. Right?
Yeah.
American style. 1 mile, 1 minute. If you drive 60 miles per hour, it's 1 mile per minute, you know.
Yes.
25 miles is 25 minutes, then you reach there. So yeah, it'll be interesting. So I wish that we have that kind of, you know, sky and things like that in Malaysia, you know. We don't have to travel too far.
Well, I think humidity plays a big role too, right? Is it humid in Portland, Oregon? I've drove past, but I've never been.
It depends. Actually, you cannot. Okay, other than Florida and Texas, I believe most of the state in the America, they are not humid. They are not humid. I mean,
Yeah.
even they are humid for a while, but most of the time they are quite dry. You know, they are quite dry. There are certain time which is slightly humid. You know, but most of the time I think it's dry. I don't have any problem with the like for example, people asking me about, hey, how do you take care of telescope? You know, in America I just leave the scope there, and I think there's no fungus.
Yeah.
Somehow there's no fungus. You know, so,
that's why when you're in Arizona, humidity is down to 9%.
9%.
That's 9%. Yeah, it's like
Nice.
high.
No wonder, you know.
Yeah.
I
But
got.
I've never. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
No,
Go ahead.
I've not stepped out of Arizona much at all.
No.
So yeah, I only know about the climate in Arizona. And other places, not so much.
Yeah, Arizona. If you go to 9%, no wonder what, you know. The first state that I actually visited in US was Arizona itself, and that is the first time I got electrocuted.
Oh,
you close the door, you get electrocuted. When you comb your hair, you get electrocuted. No static charge, you know. It's like, oh, it's very bad. It get until the, you know, you get until you get a phobia of opening the car door and closing the car door. You just kick the car door open or kick the car door close.
Yeah,
it's that bad, you know. So that's all related to the humidity. It's really dry. It's really dry.
Yeah, interesting. So, yeah, okay. Well, I mean, yeah, I think that. So over there in the US, were you mainly doing visual observing, or you also did like some photography or something?
I do a lot of visual. I do a lot of visual when I was there. But I was there for quite a number of time. 96 I was in Arizona. 97 I already go to another place we call the Folsom near
California. Yeah.
It's still in California. Yeah, it's California itself. Yeah. Then I was like most of the time.
Somewhere.
Sorry?
Is it kind of like between San Francisco and LA, right?
No. It's actually
further north.
It is in more inland a bit.
Yeah, Sacramento, right?
Sacramento is like I can. Oh yeah, that's the map. You see,
right? Yeah,
yes, I think that's Sacramento. Correct. That's right. That's right. It's about 90 miles from San Francisco to the east.
Okay.
Yeah.
South, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Then actually, if you go again to the east side, you actually cross to Nevada. You know, there's a place called Lake Tahoe.
Yeah, Lake Tahoe. Yeah.
Lake Tahoe, right? Then Lake Tahoe, part of it is in Nevada. Part of it is actually in
California. Right?
California itself. Actually, when I was in Folsom, in the year 99 and 2000, I actually joined a club there, and actually I observed in a bottle 2 sky there.
Oh, nice!
It is right at the what they call the Sierra Mountain. So it's in the middle, like it's like our Banjaran Titiwangsa, you know.
Yeah.
except that this mountain range, this range, you can actually cut across, drive across it, and at the top of the range it's actually about 5,000 feet. Yeah, 5,000 feet. The Astronomy Society actually have a place there. It's about 50 miles from Sacramento, then another 50 miles from another town. So it's
Oh, okay.
right in the middle and
Yeah,
right about 5,000 feet.
Sacramento. Yeah, Sacramento is actually up here.
Yeah, I think it's right. I think that's
That one,
Sacramento.
not
Yeah.
this one. This one.
Yeah.
This one.
Yeah, and you
Just
see,
check Google Maps.
yeah, if you move right a bit, there's a called Nevada already, right?
Yeah, Nevada.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
my observation site would be in the center there, right
Okay.
before Nevada, but far away from
Ah,
Sacramento.
somewhere
So
here.
that
Yeah,
place,
that's nice. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, that place is a very good place. It's the first time you can actually see the shadow from the Venus. You can see from there.
Nice. Yeah.
Venus actually casting a shadow, and you can see from there. And actually, I saw my first Horsehead Nebula visually from there.
Ah, okay.
Yes, Horsehead Nebula is very elusive. It's very difficult to see.
What telescope you used?
It's a 25 inch.
25.
Yeah, you can say, yes, it's just it's a 25 inch. No wonder you can see, but it's still very dim. I can only see. Yeah,
From the Arizona desert, you can see with an 8-inch.
8 inch, really?
I kid you not.
God.
No filters. 8-inch.
My God, I have to take a 25 inch from there, and I will say that it's very dark. And yeah, I still need to use some averted vision, I think. And the only thing I can see is the notch of the Horsehead. That's it. There's no
You can
there's
see the
no
notch.
no
Not
feature.
really the shape on it.
Yeah. And to give you a how to say comparison, I can see the North American Nebula naked eye from there.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, naked eye from there, the North American Nebula. So it's like, to me, it's dark enough. I cannot see my hand. That's a photo. I put it there. They say the Blue Canyon one. Maybe you can show that photo.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that photo was taken from there. Yeah, it's an old photo which
there it is.
I thought of sharing. Yeah, and this was in '99 itself. With a film camera. It's a film camera.
Wow.
Okay, and on the ground is actually sheet of ice, snow.
Wow.
If you see down there, there's actually snow. It's not snowing there, but it's actually because it's 5,000 degrees, 5,000 feet in
5,000 feet high.
So it's on, yeah, the ice is like, in the winter, it's quite, it's snow there. So when I go there, actually I observe it from there, and yeah, this is one of the few photos that I keep taken. It's a film camera, and it's of course it's a star trail, and when we take star trail last time is that we just focus the camera to infinity, then we just expose for maybe 1 hour. So that's what I did. Just put it on the tripod, expose for 1 hour, then go and keep yourself warm, and wait for it to end. Yeah. That's the thing that we do.
So how cold was it that night?
It was below freezing, but it was not like I have not experienced weather like those in the what they call the Midwest, like -30, -40 kind of thing. I never go into that extreme. Yeah, -5 yes, -10 yes, but not -50. No.
Yeah, no, you don't want to experience that.
Yeah,
I did experience like -20 once.
20. That is
that was in I think that was in Oklahoma or Kansas.
Yeah.
My brother was there. No, never again. And not during observing. So that's a good
Yes.
Just out the car, in the house, done.
In the house.
Otherwise.
Yeah. So yeah, that's about it. Yeah.
That's a nice photo though.
Yeah.
So okay, well, but maybe enough about the U.S. Then let's fast forward to I want to, really quickly.
This is old.
That's your setup, right?
No, that's not my setup. It's
not your setup.
That's not my setup. I stole it from somewhere in internet.
Okay.
This setup was, I think, probably you and myself only know about this. I think most of the
Probably William Chin or
maybe William Chin.
yeah,
Yeah,
I think
I
he
mean like,
probably
hey,
knows.
what if this is something like a gas chamber for COVID patient, or I don't know what is that? Maybe a incubator in what something for the what ICU COVID ICU no. But yeah, these are one of the crazy stuff I can remember doing or try to do last time.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay. Oh, so you tried to do this, the
I did not
hypersensitization
do
of your
this,
film.
but I did put my film into the
Ah.
freezer. That's the least I can do. I don't know whether the viewer knows about this, but last time when we were using
Freezer.
film,
Yeah.
yeah. So when we use film, film got a little bit of problem. It's very prone to moisture, especially on our climate. And if the film have too much moisture, then you start to lose the sensitivity, meaning you will not react to the light, and the color will change, things like that. So to prolong the life of the film or to make it more sensitive, we
Yeah.
either put it into the freezer or we do something like this one. This is I have not done this, but these are some crazy people they do it. They actually put the film inside a vacuum chamber and they bake it. They call it they bake it. They actually have a certain kind of temperature. Then they pump like nitrogen gas inside, things like that. Then they
Yeah.
keep it there, dry it out after a few hours, few days, things like that. So that's what they do. And by doing this, they actually increase the sensitivity of the film. So that's what they did. For us, if you want sensitive film, buy a higher ISO film.
Yeah.
Higher
Done.
ISO, 800 ISO.
So yeah.
I think the highest I bought is like 32,000 ISO, and 32,000 ISO. I think there's only one company. I think Konica. They come up with 32,000 ISO.
But 3,200 or
3,000. Sorry, 3,200. Yes.
3,200.
3,000, yeah. So 3,200 ASA is the highest, and that's only like Konica. I think they have it.
Okay.
Yeah. So these are the crazy time. This is not supposed to shown to the to the general viewer now because they get this is like it can't be real. But yeah, that's what we do.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Yes.
I never done it. So yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I read about it. Actually, me and my friend
Yeah.
So back in the day, I think all of us,
We-
astronomy nuts would
Yeah.
kind of dream of it. But then let's fast forward to where's that image? There we go. I want to know what's this building?
You know this one you've been to. I think this
Yeah,
is
yeah.
this is like I don't know, this security guard post or something. Yeah. Or something. Yeah, but this is this is an ant observatory which I built in 2005. Yeah, it's 2005. I first built this one. It's on my father's land. It's not big. It's a 10 feet by 15 feet. So when you look at it, it's about 15 feet. Then it's a 10 feet in width. And it's a roll-off roof
So
observatory.
the roof rolls off, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You have the railing there, right? So you roll this way and roll this way.
Yeah, this is both move both sides. You go move to the left, you move to the right. Yeah, then you open up, a certain.
Yeah, I remember
right,
that.
Yeah.
With the wheels.
So inside it, you have a telescope, on the pier. Yeah, I think there's a photo of the telescope.
Yeah.
This one was I'll explain that. This is a bit chaotic. This one was actually organized by the Starfinder group. I don't know whether they were called Starfinder last time, or but they are the group from KL.
Right.
And I cannot remember what's the occasion, but they come in a few cars. They have a camp outside, and they set up the telescope like whatever available space they can get. They set up the telescope, and they took photo all night. Then sleep in the morning, then take photo again at night. I think this is going on for like 3 days, 2 nights, something like that. Yeah. So this is the only time that I got like so many telescope in the observatory itself.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they set up 5 like that. Yeah. So this group are from KL. Yeah.
Nice.
I think there's another photo which is not so cluttered. Yeah, I think this one can. Yeah, so this is the normal setup. Yeah, the normal setup. There are two pier. That going to the ground, which I have
Right.
two mount on it.
Two piers.
On the left is the 14-inch with casing.
Mm.
I think 14-inch. Yeah, it's not the biggest scope. It's not the biggest scope, but it's one of the scope that is ideal for taking planetary images. You know? And the other mount on the right, I have all sort of telescope. I can have a 8-inch telescope, which you see in the frozen in the earlier photo, the one that's frozen.
Ah, the frozen one, right.
Yeah. Then I can put other like refractor and things like that. So yeah. So there are two telescopes that's permanently, set up in the observatory. Yeah.
Mm.
So
Is there another photo? No. Oh, that's the moon mosaic. Yeah, we'll come to that one.
you'll come to yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So is it? Did you are you comfortable sharing? Like, did you spend a lot of money to build your own observatory? To any of the viewers who might
Ah.
thoughts of doing it?
Actually, it's not expensive. I think in 2005, if I'm not mistaken, I only spent about, of course, not the price of the land. Lah. The land is actually my father's land. But if you just build a building, something like that, a 10 feet by 15 feet building, I think it won't cost you more than 5,000 ringgit.
Hmm.
I don't think it costs you more than 5,000 ringgit. And the roof may be more expensive because now the metal are more expensive, but
Right.
they are not difficult to make. They actually can be made by metal uh, expert out there, that do gate, do some renovation for people and things like that. Anyone can do that, and it will probably cost you about 5 to 10,000 for the roof. You know,
Oh,
so it won't cost you a lot. It will probably cost you about 10 to 15,000, I think, probably. And the equipment is up to you. You don't have to have a very good equipment. Actually, the beauty of an observatory is that if you have an observatory, you can put your telescope permanently inside. And telescope, for example, if you're using an equatorial mount, you actually have to align it in such a way that it can track the object properly. So that one will take like half an hour for you to get it correct. So if you have an observatory, you only need to do once. You set it up, you align it properly, then you just leave it. And the next time you want to use it, you don't have to repeat the whole procedure. So that's the beauty of observatory. So observatory is to like keep your telescope there. Um, Whenever you want to use it, you just open up and use it. If you don't want, you just close it. So that's one of it. Another thing that with observatory, you have all the uh, utility. For example, you have electrical, things like that. You can use your computer there, things like that. So it's much easier. So yeah, and if you have an observatory, doesn't mean that you need to have a very good equipment there.
right. What about the pier? Like, did you have to do something special to?
Yeah.
I think last week you talked about it a bit, right?
Yeah, the peer, that's something that you want to, just want to make sure. The peer,
Oh, sorry.
the observatory, yes. Yeah, you can see the pier here, yeah. Okay, if you see the pier, there's a two pier, right, the gray color one. These are actually metal piping, which actually is piled into the ground itself. It does not touch to any part of the observatory floor. Okay, and the reason we do this is that one, of course, it's much stronger this way. Second, it is actually isolated from the vibration. We don't want people to walk around the observatory. Then, when you walk around, they will introduce some vibration.
So there's like actually a gap in between.
Yeah, there's a gap. You can't see it from here, but there's a gap.
Yeah,
It's just a small
maybe
gap.
just
Yeah,
barely, right? Yeah.
yeah. There's something there. I put. Yeah, it's just go inside. Then you don't touch the observatory floor.
Right.
So that is the the one of the criteria that you have to make sure when you make observatory, you want to make sure that this thing is going directly to the ground. Okay. The next thing you want to actually do, if you want to consider that, you must know what kind of equipment you want to put inside, so that you don't build your observatory too big or too small. You want it to be just nice. Okay. For example, if you see my height of the wall, okay, the height of the wall is actually, I'm about 5 feet 5, so the height of the wall is about 6 feet. Okay, about 6 feet. So that's the clearance. You don't want this wall to be too high. If you make a normal building, then the building will be like 8 feet. The wall will be like 8 feet like that. Plus the roof. So it will block the view. So
Right, right,
yeah, and so you have to know what equipment you put inside. So once you know the equipment you put inside, then you know how high is the wall. You know, then
right.
that it's just enough to cover the telescope.
Right. The only thing is you won't be able to invite Yao Ming to your observatory, right?
Sorry, not.
You won't be able to invite Yao Ming to your observatory. Right? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lame joke.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something like that. Not yeah,
Not too tall. Okay.
not.
Yeah. Because he's 7'6", I think. So he's looking over the roof. Is what I'm gonna imagine.
Yeah. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
something like
So
that. Yes.
okay. So in the on the topic of equipment, since we're talking about equipment, and we mentioned it before, why don't you share a little bit too about your other venture, this Persei telescopes?
Oh,
Yeah, that maybe you can share like your experiences with listeners.
okay, yeah. Well, Perseid telescope. When I started astronomy, I think when you started astronomy, I think there's only one dealer, right, in KL, Mr. Louis. I think he started long time, like 80s maybe. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think he was the only telescope shop in KL in the whole Malaysia. Um, for the best part of it, I don't have. Uh, it's about 80s and 90s. I think he's the only shop, right? So I set up my shop is only in the 1998. Okay, 1998. So 1998, when I first started, actually that was due to because by the time 19 in the 90s, I after I met up with Dr. Chong, we actually did a lot of outreach. We go to school, university, at a lot of other places, and a lot of the time, um, the visitors will be asking, where to get telescope, where to buy this, and where to buy that. So it's very difficult to explain. You have to write to this company. At that time there's no internet. You have to write to this company. Then after you write, you wait for another like maybe 1 month. Then they reply you back. Then you read the mail. Then you write back. All this thing. So it's very difficult. If you want to purchase something, it's very difficult. So I found out that there are companies. That time I approached a few company. One of them is the GSO Optical, GSO, Guanseng Optical. They are based in Taiwan, and I think they just started their business also in somewhere around the 90s. You know, so I approached them, and they are able to supply me with their telescope. So they actually have a small range of scope. Actually, they have a 4.5-inch Newtonian, a 6 inch, a 6 inch, and I believe the biggest was the 8-inch Newtonian. And they have a Dobsonian of like 6 inch, 8 inch, and 10 inch or something like that. But with that, I started into the business, telescope business. So in 1998, I registered my company, and from there we started to supply to school and things like that. And later on, I did some observatory project also. Actually, I helped people to build observatory. After I built mine in 2005, I think I built another one in 2008 in Perlis. I don't think anybody heard of it. It's actually for a company, a roll-off roof also. And later on, I also built the one in Heng Yi in 2011. Then the College Matrikulasi Pulau Pinang, the Bentik Primary School, the Komta Pixel Observatory. Yeah, then the last one actually did one for the university in Johor. So yeah, so there's a few observatory, which I helped to build. Yeah, but actually the company started because we feel that there's a need, for if people want to buy telescope and things like that, they can get it locally, and it's much easier because at that time in 1990 itself, internet is very, there's not much people using internet. I don't think we even have like many people using credit card, pay by credit card. If you want to buy something, for example, you want to buy a telescope, the normal process at that time is to write a mail, not an email, no, on a snail mail. You just write a mail, you put a stamp there, then you send to the guy. Then after that, they'll take a short while, then they reply to you. So by the time you send the mail and you receive back the reply, it'll take you like 1.5 months. Then you have to send another, question again. Then you send there. Then after that, everything done. How do you going to pay them? You must have find a way how to pay them, and things like that. So it's not easy to do that. So that's why we try to, we try to help people by sourcing the telescope. We also service telescope. So not that we sell only, we are able to repair telescope, service, do installation, a lot of other things that we can actually do. Yeah.
That's very cool. And I think that that's kind of helpful to the growing astronomy community in Malaysia. Yeah. So okay, well that's actually a very interesting story. So I appreciate that. You can share like why you set it up and everything. So yeah. Is your shop still at the complex Bukit Jumbo? Or?
Yeah, it's still there. It has not moved yet. If you are in Penang, those people in Penang, the complex, actually in the late 90s, there's no shopping complex in Penang. Penang is actually very ulu. It's like come. It's not like now in Penang. In Penang back in the 90s, we have Sunshine Square. I don't know or not. There's a Sunshine Square. There's a Bukit Jumbo complex. That's all. That's for the cater for the whole Bayang Baru. For the town side, you have Dama supermarket, you have Komta, maybe things like that. Yeah. So complex Bukit Jumbo is one of the like very hot area. We couldn't find any vacancy, for the land and things like that. But in the 1998, actually we found the shop there, so we just go and rent there. And after that, I think we have Queensway Mall, we have like other shopping complex. Then this Bukit Jumbo is getting slow and slow and slow. But actually, it's good us because we are not those like fast turnaround. We're not selling something like pancakes or whatever. We can sell 1,000 pieces a day. So this is a good place because the rental is very low. I mean, like for example, if you go to like Queensway Mall, the shop lot about the same size as ours, it will cost you like 10,000 per month. Can you believe that it's like 10,000 per month for the rental? And the same shop lot that I have, like in Bukit Jumbo complex, cost me about 650 ringgit.
Wow, massive difference.
So it's like so massive difference. Yeah, so like, of course I'll do it there. I mean, if you want telescope, yeah, just contact me, then we can settle down there. I don't need a shop in like Queensway Mall and things like that. So it's like, so that's why I'm there. So even that the whole complex is not doing very well. Not to say not very well. They actually have a few tenant there. For example, Kamda, Maidin, but then yeah. So it's still very good. It's still good. Yeah, it's still there. Yeah, it always has been there. And
yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I visited the shop in the.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's actually very refreshing to see, like, wow, an astronomy shop in Malaysia.
yeah.
I mean, like,
I
it's
don't
it's
know
the.
whether you know there was one in Kompang itself, Prangin Mall. There was like in the early 2000 maybe.
I wasn't here.
Yeah, you wasn't here, maybe you
Yeah,
are,
yeah, I
but there
wasn't.
was one there for like few years, and they closed it down. I think it was a branch by Bobby, by this Mr. Louis.
Mr. Louis. Oh, okay.
Yeah, he opened a branch here in Prangin Mall, but it
Ah,
didn't last long. Yeah, I
okay.
think like 5 years, like 4 years, 5 years. I think yeah, something like that. Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
that's about
Oh,
it.
that's interesting.
Yeah,
Wow. Okay. So I think that as a enthusiast for astronomy, I think that that's like,
yeah,
for me, is going the whole mile there. Setting up a telescope business and having your own observatory. So we can make a circle back to you know outreach and astronomy stuff.
yeah.
I think that in particular, I'm very interested in this photo right here because I've interviewed two people, and if I can interview this lady right here, that would be amazing.
Really? Ah,
I don't know if she's still alive, but
I think she's still alive.
still alive.
She's still very active. But
Really? Okay.
yeah, I mean for those who are not familiar, this is actually I think we're like professor, right? Professor Dr. Jocelyn Bell Burnell, right? Something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Justin Bell.
she's the discovery of pulsar. You
Yes.
know, like before we know about this pulsar thing like that, she's the one that discovered pulsar, right? Maybe you
Yes.
can explain what the pulsar actually. Or it's like just a spinning star, right? Like, what you call
That's
that?
the she discovered the one in the Crab Nebula, right? Was it the first one ever?
I'm not sure the crab one. Yeah, but it's the one in the Crab Nebula is certainly a pulsar. Yeah, it's like spinning
Yes.
like.
Well, that's the one she discovered, wasn't
Oh,
it?
that's the one she discovered, right? Oh,
I can't remember.
yeah, yeah. But I know the
It's the
pulsar.
first one.
Yeah,
It's
the
the first
crab
one.
one was a very famous pulsar there. Yeah, but
Yes, yes,
she actually found the pulsar, and
yes.
she's the first one to find it. You know, and
Yeah.
this was taken like maybe like in 2008, 9 or something like that when she came to Penang. So that's Dr. Chong on the right. I think yeah,
Yes.
still a bit younger lah, right? I think maybe 10,
Yeah.
15 years younger. Yeah, yeah. So I have the chance to meet, with the USM Astronomical, of course with the cable from Dr. Chong lah. I have to thank him.
Right.
I
Right.
got to meet like this professor, this Dr. Lee,
Yes.
Dr. Jocelyn Bell. On
Yes.
top of that, I also met like the Robert Gibson. There's another photo of him. There's an astronaut, which I really, this is the first, this is the first astronaut. I didn't, yeah, this is his signature. He signed an autograph for me. So he came in 2010. You know,
Nice. Robert Hoot.
2010. Yeah, and he is famous. Why? Because he's actually the one of the youngest commander of space shuttle. Like
Mm.
before the age of 40, he actually
Wow.
under the space shuttle up, and not one. Actually, I don't know whether he was commander for all, but apparently he went up in space 4 times. You
Mm.
know,
Wow.
and the last one was the STS-71, I believe.
Mm.
And that one was in 1995, and that was a very historical flight. That flight is the first time the space shuttle actually docked with the Mir.
Oh, okay.
So,
Yeah, yeah. I
yeah,
think I remember that.
if you know the history of the Russia and the America, they are always fighting. They have this Cold War, this kind of thing. And they are never in good talking term one. And suddenly you have this space shuttle that's from US and docked with this Mir from Russia, in the
Right.
space itself. And they actually open the hatch and this American and Russian shaking hands in space.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people take that time as the end of the Cold War.
Right. Right.
The end of the Cold War actually. So he's the commander for the flight, and this is the first time the American and the Russian, shake hand, met in space and things like that. So yeah, he came down and he gave a talk. So I was very, happy to meet him. First astronaut, that we are able to meet and talk to. Yeah,
Yes. That's actually really awesome. I mean,
yeah.
to meet an astronaut and did you ask him any interesting questions?
No, I was very
How do you go
shy.
to the
Yeah,
How do you go
yeah,
to the bathroom in space?
yeah. How do you go to the bathroom,
Well,
right?
there's
Yeah,
a lot of answers
it's
on
still,
that.
yeah,
Yeah, it's interesting to ask
yeah,
like an astronaut in
yeah.
person. Like
It's really interesting, what they did in space. Yeah,
yeah.
but I don't know whether if you talk or ask him again, what in the ISS, he'll give you an answer or not. Because I heard in ISA they just pack it back, they put it in the Ziploc bag and zip it back. You heard
Oh,
that?
really?
Yeah.
No, I don't know. Really? Wow.
I always
I thought
thought
they
that they did a
cycle the
little.
water and stuff. Yeah.
No.
They don't
I
recycle.
heard that there's supposed to be like a airflow or things like that, going down. But apparently it's not like that. They do the thing in the Ziploc bag, then they zip it lock and then push in the compactor bin, something like that.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But it's an interesting question. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah.
So, some of now your achievements, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you talk about this photo? I think it has some significance.
This one is part of the photo. This is I would say the raw image of the photo taken in 2016, I believe.
Right.
It's supposed to be the highest resolution moon photo ever taken. I don't know it's still true or not. but
Back then it is.
this one was taken from the Pixel Observatory in Kongta itself. They have a 16-inch telescope, and it was taken with a 2x barlow, making it about 7,000 millimeter in focal length altogether. So yeah, it's supposed to be the highest resolution. It translates to about like a pixel to about 200-meter resolution. So the smallest feature that you can see there is about 200 meter. So like you maybe put a Petronas twin tower there. It will cover about 2 pixels, right? Something like that. Can you
Wow.
zoom in?
I'll try.
Yeah, you try and see.
Actually, I wanted to, but it's like
Yeah,
a
I
JPEG
think you can
image.
zoom in. Yeah, you can see how far it zoom in.
Wow. Look
Yeah,
at that crater inside the crater there.
yeah, you can see the crater inside the crater inside the crater. It's supposed to be there by this time. Yeah, I think it's not refreshed in our site yet, but yeah, it's supposed to be able to zoom in. And if you were to print this photo up, the full size one, I believe you can print about 10 or 20 feet, across.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, and still at the photo quality. I cannot remember. I think it's 20 feet the most we can get. Yeah.
Right.
That's very big. Yeah. So yeah, this is just a part of it only. Yeah, there's another half of it. Yeah.
So this looks like we're on the spacecraft, like flying across the moon right there.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the resolution that we are trying to get. Yeah, and it's not easy to get this photo. Actually, it's based on luck also, because even if you have equipment, you still have to depend on the weather.
Yes.
And this kind of weather, I would say that it only presents itself like 5 times per year, maybe. No,
Yeah.
it's about 5 times or 10 times the most. When the air actually get very steady, that you can zoom in and you can still take a nice photo. Most of the time, when you zoom in to the feature, you start to get blurring, because of the seeing, because of the Earth atmosphere. But then during a certain time like this one, yeah, so only then we can get it. Yeah. This is the raw. You can see the stitches here.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
This is the totally unprocessed one, which I just hook it up and put it. Yeah.
But that's nice.
Yeah.
I mean, wow, look at that.
Yeah.
I'm not very good.
Yeah, but 12,000 by 18,000, right? Yeah.
Wonderful.
So yeah, something like that. So
Mm.
yeah, so it's very difficult to duplicate again. Although you can, but then you have to wait for another time when the sky is really clear and the scene is very good, and try to image it, and you have to image it at like 8,000 millimeter focal length.
Yeah.
So it's not, yeah. So this one was it was one of the, I would say it's one of the highest lah. I don't know whether it's the highest or not. I'm sure some people, like Michael Thiel or whatever, they'll hit it anytime, when the time is right, yeah, they just,
Is that a challenge?
yeah, I think so, like not a challenge, like
No, it's a challenge for Michael Thiel.
it's just it, it's not a challenge, it's just a time only,
Yeah.
wait for it to break only, yeah,
Yeah.
so yeah,
Wow, look at that.
so something like that,
Fantastic.
yeah,
It's a
so
beautiful image.
so yeah,
Okay.
something like that.
So let me bring up this one more photo that I think
Is there a question
trying
for the viewer? Anybody know if there's any question?
Oh,
No action, good.
no question yet.
Okay, okay. Yeah, DJ Betzer, that's the one.
DJ Batzer, yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
remember him.
cannot remember. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, she's
He
the one.
actually, I think isn't he in Selangor too?
I think so. He's in
Yeah,
Selangor.
in fact, I might have met him. I cannot remember.
yeah. He's
DJ Batzer,
actually
yeah,
famous in the local
I
astronomical
remember
community.
that name.
Yeah,
Yeah, but somehow, why? Yeah. Okay, wow, that's too long ago.
yeah, too long ago. Yes, and I mean, if you know about him, then yeah, you're already old. Yeah, but she's the one of the only one that regularly write articles, in the Star newspaper, and at least this kind of thing, it, it yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, this kind of article may be small article, once a month, but you get people to get interest. Yeah.
Yes.
So this is a photo, right? Yeah. You
Yeah,
did
and I
a
think
photo
this
of the
is
front one. Yeah, that's me with the homemade telescope.
wow.
And the Comet Hale-Bopp in 1997. Yeah. So this one was a very, how to say, one of the, I would say, highlight, because I think we took this photo on April the 8th, I think. On the April the 8th, that's the first time we actually saw this comet locally in Penang.
Oh wow. Okay.
Earlier in March, we cannot see. It was in the morning time. Then we got some bad weather. Then when they say it's coming up high enough on April 8th, actually we went to this place called Pemandangan Indah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's now they call Anjung Indah.
Anjung Indah.
Yeah, it's a Pemandangan Indah, and back at that time there is nothing there. It's just a hilltop. There's a small car park, but there is nothing there. So we set up a telescope and we can see Hale-Bopp from there.
Beautiful.
So I
Yeah.
think we saw Hale-Bopp from there. Then we tell it to the people. Then somehow the Star newspaper picked it up, and actually they published it on the April 15th. The front page, they actually published another photo on the April 15th, and on the page 10, I think they published this photo. So it was very interesting. And
There's a front page in it.
yeah, I think that's another. Yeah, this is the one. There's just corner there. This the front page, and that's a corner. Yeah. Of course, they go and enhance the photo and do it until it's like very unnatural. See, yeah. So this is a good, yeah, it's like a good publicity, and a lot of people actually turn up after that. After the news article come out, or even before that, when we told people like on the April 8th, we saw it. Then by the time April 10, April 11, there are like the whole place is like a party there already. It's a carnival. There's a lot of cars there and people observing from there. Yeah. So that was a good, a good year for us.
Yeah, very nice. So I think that this actually is a great photo that kind of exemplifies who you are,
Yeah, and
right?
this one using film, you see, so you are like super
Yeah,
old, and
yeah.
something there. Yeah.
So yeah, I think that with this photo, is there any other thing you want to add at all uh, for this interview and
Uh,
chat, astronomy chat? But because I like to have this, kind of like as the last, the finale.
the
It's
finale.
almost like, see, this is the leaving impression of CK Lim.
It
Okay,
will be maybe
for
if I have one with
for
the
this
maybe
astro
like
chat, yeah.
maybe one with the Donald Trump shake hand. Yeah, there'll be a finale.
Okay, I know why Donald Trump, but
Just suddenly I thought of him. You see, yeah,
oh, okay, yeah, yeah. We'll call him up and
yeah,
donate a telescope to Penang or something.
yeah.
Yeah,
But then,
yeah.
yeah,
So
that, sorry.
yeah, so I think that yeah, if do you have any more thing you would like to add? Like,
No, yeah, I thought we are so out of time already. We are like,
yeah, we're about hour 15 minutes, so I think we can wrap it up.
okay,
Okay.
yeah, sure.
So I think on behalf of the viewers and all the Astronomical Society of Penang, thank you very much, CK Lim, for your time to share your experiences in astronomy with us. I think I totally enjoyed this interview because I can like almost appreciate all the things that you say. Like for Dr. Chong and Sky Sky Teo is like at a different level. But now when I talk to you, you're very experienced, and you did a lot more than what I did in terms of astronomy. But when you talk, I kind of can relate. Hey, yeah, film, yeah, I know we struggle with that. Those sexy ads in the telescope
Yeah,
astronomy magazines and stuff like
right.
that. So yeah, thank you again, and to all the viewers out there, thank you very much for joining this Astro Chat. Again, we are interviewing CK Lim, and I hope you get to meet him someday in Penang or Malaysia somewhere. And, he'll be able to share the stories and information about astronomy to you all. Okay, once again, from the Astronomical Society of Penang, thank you. Remember to subscribe if you haven't. Click the notification button so that any new videos we have, you'll be notified of. And have a good evening, everyone. Wish you all clear skies, and we'll see you next month again with another very passionate astronomer. Thank you. Thank you.